In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Next Level Racing's brand new ERS4 sim racing seat. Next Level Racing reached out to me a little bit over a month ago asking if I would like to try this product before their launch, and of course I agreed. I'll be going over the build quality, the materials, the fit and finish, and how I think this product might suit your specific needs. Before we get into it though, I do have a couple disclaimers. While the YouTube video may say that this is a paid promotion, it is under their own eyes. Technically, I am not being paid any money to make this video. I don't have to say anything specific about the product. I can be 100% honest in my thoughts and opinions on it. And Next Level Racing is not going to see this video any sooner than you guys do. I know sometimes whenever people receive free gear, sometimes it could cause a conflict of interest. I always try to be as transparent as possible in my reviews, because I know some people do have some trust issues whenever it comes to YouTubers promoting certain products. So with that being said, I'm going to mention all the positives and negatives that I spot with this product, let you guys know my honest thoughts about it, and hopefully be as thorough as I possibly can. So with that being said, let's get started with the unboxing portion. So, present day sim racing Jesus here. And about that unboxing portion of the video, yeah, I don't have it. I have no idea what happened, but somehow half of my footage disappeared. So I don't have the unboxing portion, and I don't have the portion where I installed the seat onto the rig. Pretty much all I got was me taking my old seat off and then messing around with the frame rails and stuff like that. So, good thing there wasn't much to go over in the first place. So instead, I'll just explain the packaging here and just do my best to describe it, I guess. So it came in a pretty sturdy box. It was double layered cardboard stapled together. I don't even think the delivery guy could damage it if he tried. It came in very few pieces. It was just the bottom part, the back part, the hardware, and also the side covers right here. Whenever you're assembling this thing, do not touch the reclining levers, because if you do, it's going to be very, very hard to put the thing together. That's why there's a do not touch sticker on it. It really only applies for the assembly. But putting the seat together is extremely simple. It's very easy. However, I did have a pretty big problem mounting the rails to the frame of my rig, and that was the clearance. So the Allen key that they provided was just a little too long to actually reach up in there and get a good amount of torque on the Allen bolt. So that was definitely a little hard to get on there. I had to go through my toolbox and look for one that was literally just a few more millimeters shorter so I can have enough space to put it on. But eventually I did get it on the frame rails. It was pretty tough, but after that, it pretty much bolted straight onto my rig, and I've had pretty much no issues with fitment or anything like that. So that's pretty much that. Like I said, I have no idea how that footage disappeared, and it is a massive failure on my part. But thankfully, it is just a seat. It's not like I was assembling the entire rig or anything, and there wasn't that much stuff to go over in the first place. So with that being said, let's move on to the build quality and the materials of the seat itself. The seat comes in two versions with different materials. There's a fabric and sim aero mesh version and a polyurethane leather and suede version, which is what I've chosen. I believe the leather and suede version is going to be the more popular choice overall, considering they are both the same cost, but the fabric version does benefit from breathability and sweat prevention. However, since I don't have the fabric version, I can't really make my comments on that material, so the only thing I can cover is the leather and suede version. What I can say about this version is I'm actually really impressed with the material quality itself. Upon doing my research for this video, I found out that suede is similar to Alcantara, but they're not really the exact same thing, which in my opinion is a good thing. I was a car photographer for several years, and I have been in and out of tens of thousands of cars during that time. One thing that I quickly discovered during that time was my extreme distaste for Alcantara. I think it is one of the worst materials that have ever been put inside of vehicles. I don't like how it grips your clothes when you're sweaty. I don't like how it feels rubbing your hands against it, and I know for a fact it would be a dirt and human slime magnet and be difficult to keep clean. I think it's safe to say that I've never been inside of a vehicle that had Alcantara material that I actually liked, but I can't say the exact same thing about this seat in particular. I was actually pretty impressed with how soft and comfortable this suede material is to the touch. Granted, like I said before, it isn't the exact same thing as Alcantara, but they are fairly similar. Coming from me, this is probably the best compliment that I could give Next Level Racing given my expectation versus reality ratio on this factor alone. I've only had this seat for a few weeks, so I don't know how this material will hold up over time and how it'll fare against the buildup of human slime, but I did quickly notice that it is a crumb and hair magnet. But that's probably something anybody could expect with a material like this, as opposed to the polyurethane leather which is found on the edges and sides of the seat. This pleather material is pretty standard as far as seats go, and it is a bit more textured than real car seats that I've seen over the years, which is something I personally prefer. The material isn't greasy feeling, it's not irritating to the skin, and overall has a really nice and snug fit and finish. I don't really see this being an issue with keeping clean or excessive wear down the road, but only time will be able to tell. These materials are all mated with high quality stitching with no visible breakage or fraying, but we'll also need to see how this holds up as time goes on. As far as the bolstering and cushioning go, they are definitely on the firm side. With my eBay seat, I kind of sank down into the cushioning a bit more, and with the ERS4, I don't sink down anywhere near as much. It's very supportive, although probably just a hair too supportive for my body build type, but it's not an absolute deal breaker for me. So if you are a bit more of a beefcake, then this should be better suited for you. The bolstering is also very firm, but not too extreme. Given this seat is not going to be experiencing any G's like a real car seat would, supportive bolstering isn't really necessary at all, and it just comes down to being a design thing. I fit inside the bolstering just fine with plenty of wiggle room, and there is no reason for it to be snug on me whatsoever. Finally, let's go over the sturdiness. This seat has a unique feature which I've never seen before myself, which is a reclining lever on both sides. At first I was confused as to what this was about, but it makes sense as these also serve as locking mechanisms. So having them on both sides of the seat help with the sturdiness as opposed to being locked down by only one side. This does mean that you need to use both hands to recline or incline the seat, but I doubt you'll be needing to do that while driving anyway. Alrighty. We're finally back in the present. As far as reviewing the seat itself goes, that's pretty much it. I thought it was going to be kind of difficult to make this video because there's not really much to go over in the first place. But I do get why Next Level Racing would like product reviews of even seats, because it's a pretty big item, it's kind of a pain to ship, and it's definitely one of those things that you don't want to buy over and over again until you find the right one. So reviews like this pretty much help people select the right product. So hopefully I did my part, and hopefully you guys have a better understanding of what you could expect from this seat if you do so happen to pick one up. And once again, thank you to Next Level Racing for sending it to me for review. And I believe it was time for an upgrade anyways, because I've had my old eBay seat for like 4.5 years, and I've wanted to upgrade it for a very long time. So this was the perfect timing, really. Now, as far as your specific situation, if I think this might be a good seat for you, I would consider this like a middle to upper range tier seat. So if you're building your very first sim rig and you're going for a budget build, it's probably going to be a little bit out of your budget because it is $300, which isn't the most expensive thing in the world. And it's also not the cheapest thing in the world either. It's like right in the middle, I would say. So in my personal opinion, I think this seat would be great for like a middle to high level sim rig. So if you're moving from like a DIY or a chintzy metal frame rig or something like that up to something a little bit more beefy like aluminum extrusion, I think this is a very solid choice. And only time will tell this factor, but I think it is going to hold up fairly decent over time. I am just a little bit concerned about the suede material and how much grime it's going to build up over time, and if it's going to get sticky after a few sweat sessions. As I mentioned before, despise Alcantara with every fiber of my being. But this time, I'm going to give it a chance. Oh, and just for reference, the eBay seat that I've been referring to in this video is like a knockoff Integra seat, and I believe I bought it for $135 USD on eBay way back in June or July of 2020. I tried looking for a similar kind of seat on eBay just to get like a price difference between something like this and something like that, but I couldn't really find anything similar enough. But obviously, if you're going for a budget build, you're going to do whatever you can to get the best deal possible. Maybe you can rip a seat out of a crashed car or find something on eBay like I did. Or at least if you want a better idea of what you're getting, you'd go on YouTube, watch some review videos, stuff like that. And honestly, with this seat, I didn't really find that many things to critique over. Then again, there's not a whole lot to go over in the first place, but the seat is a very important factor for your rig. The only thing I can really say about it is, and it's just a personal preference thing, I just wish it was a little bit less supportive in the cushioning. But that's about it. And for reference, I'm 5'11", I weigh about 150 or 160 pounds, and I fit pretty good in this thing. My shoulders don't get pushed too far forward with the bolstering, my gluteus maximus fits just fine, and even though like you can see like a little bit of visible movement whenever I forcefully try to do it, sitting down and just doing normal driving, like you don't really notice any movement at all. The only leeway you can really feel is from the cushions themselves. And so with all that being said, thank you guys for watching this review video. Thank you once again to Next Level Racing for sending it out to me for review. If you have any critiques of my review videos or have any ideas of ways I can improve, definitely leave it in the comments. And like always, thanks for watching.